Oh, buddy, it's the calm before the RV storm. Are you ready to go on a trip? I am. Let's do this. Woo! So I'm staying at Fred Gannon Rocky Bayou State Park. It's here about 2 hours west of Tallahassee. Let me give you the tour. It's an absolutely beautiful park. The park is actually located in Niceville, Florida. The spot's open and wide, easy to get in and out on. The bathhouse, nice and clean. Also one bathhouse for about 42 spots for tent camping and RV camping. It's just a great place to be. So just arrived, set up my rig. Now it's time to go explore the park, getting that first hike in. I'm gonna check out a podcast or two while I'm doing the hike and enjoy myself. Let's go check it out. So what do you do when you come to the fork in the road? You got, looks like 3 trails. Oh wait, maybe 4. Not sure which one to try, but I don't know. Let's go try the Rocky Bayou. That seems interesting. So this hike is pretty nice. The paths are nice and wide. They're well laid out. Anybody can kind of do this one. You know, one of the things I always love about being out in nature, even if I'm listening to a podcast, is just, it's so beautiful and just so great. I try to take the headsets off every now and then and just listen. But this place right now is just really cool to check out. Here, let me show you why. Okay, now look at this. You know how I feel about water. Oh, this looks absolutely gorgeous. There are probably some gators in here, so I'll be careful. But just look at that. This is what makes hiking so special. Discovering these kind of things. I'm wondering if there's some place that you can swim in here, but regardless, this is just beautiful to look at. So here we are back at where we started the trail, and it was a good little hike. I guess if I really wanted to do more, I would go ahead and do Sand Pine right now, but I'm gonna save that one for a little bit later. Basically some great hiking here. Hope you guys like that and like the look at the park. It is a really nice park, really great spaces. I think if you make a chance to come here, you'll really like it. So it was a little scary this morning. I got up, I was getting ready for my hike, went outside and saw a whole bunch of sheriff department deputies, some emergency vehicles, and it was all connected to the site right behind me. It turned out that I guess the guy who was staying there, and they were tent camping, he was going through some DTs and had a really bad reaction. So the wife had to call some emergency paramedics and things to come over, check him out. He ended up having to go to the hospital. She was moving out, or I guess they were moving out of the spot, and so she was a little frazzled after everything. Thank goodness, I think everything's okay with both of them. After everything was going down, I walked on over and checked on her, and she was just, you can imagine, just kind of all thrown out of shape. She couldn't find her keys, her tent, didn't know how to get that down. So I stayed with her, helped her find her keys, and helped her take down her tent and load up her car before she took off. And you know, it's just one of the things that happens. One of the things I found is that the community here is always very nice and giving. You know, I was next door, I was a neighbor, so I just wanted to go over and help out. And I certainly think that if something had happened to me, although I haven't met a lot of folks around here, there would be a couple people who might come on over, help out, call the authorities to make sure I was okay. In fact, the other day there's a guy, he and his wife are retired, and they are traveling all over from Georgia to Florida, things like that. He walks his little poodle during the day. And we were just talking about a lot of different things, Thousand Trails in particular. And it was a good conversation. One of the things I found about the RV lifestyle is that people, no matter where you're at, a camp, a state park, boondocking, if you run into RVers, they're all really, really nice and helpful. So hopefully she felt a little warmth and kindness in the middle of the chaos. And after she goes to the hospital, picks up her husband, I think they're scheduled to come back to the campgrounds, but in a different location. But more importantly, I hope they're okay. So a little excitement for today makes this blog, I guess, a little more interesting. But just the way it is. Life in RV. Hey everybody, we're gonna do something a little different here today. You know, when I go to get ready to pack up and load up for my RV trip, I always go shopping, and one of the places that I shop, Publix, they have this bean dip. They call it a cowboy bean dip, which has some beans and some spices and some meat in it. So I thought, why not try and make a version of that here in my RV? Now, this is a 2-day process, and it starts by taking some meat, grilling it up on the grill, chill down, and then go back in to the beans and let that whole process meld together. So actually 2 days to make, and then it's going to be all delicious. So let's get started first with the dry rub for the roast. The rub for the roast is pretty simple. We're going to start off with a whole lot of garlic powder there. Then we're going to get some salt and pepper in there. And some salt. From there, we are going to add some thyme. Get that in. Some rosemary. Get that there. Some paprika. And finally, some basil. So we get that all in, we mix it up, and then we're going to put this right onto the roast. Now that the fire is going and the rub is ready, we're going to put the rub onto the meat and then get the meat onto the grill and cook that up. Rub a little oil on the meat. And it was thawing, so that's why the color looks this way a little bit. And just going to take all of the rub and really get it in on that meat before we take it and put it on the grill. Now, while the roast is finishing up on the grill, it's time to get the base of the beans going. We're going to start it off right here on the stove. So the first thing we're going to do is get some butter in the pan. Let that go. I'm going to add a little bit of oil and melt everything down to get the base going. As the butter goes, I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. Everything looks like it's going well. And that's when you want to add your vegetables. We've got the green pepper, red pepper, leeks, and onions. You want to sweat these down for a little bit. Okay, so the vegetables are nice and sweating. This is where you want to add in some garlic powder, some paprika, we're going to put in a little bit of rosemary, and then we're going to add some sugar, some hot sauce, get that in there nice, and then finally we're going to add a base of ketchup. Next, what we're going to do, just kind of stir that up and let that sweat down even more. So the base is nice and going. This is where we're going to add in the two types of beans. We've got our black beans and our red beans, both going into the pot. You just want to mix it up, get them all going. You're going to cover and let it sit for a while. Now the final thing you want to add is the beef. There it goes in. I'm going to stir that around a little bit, and we're going to let this steep and cook, about 20 minutes, and then we're going to close this up and actually chill it overnight. So the beans are now done cooking. We are going to put them into a container and chill them overnight, and then tomorrow we'll have our bean dip. For good measure, right on top, we're going to sprinkle a little crushed red peppers. Get that in. I like my food a little spicy. And then we'll stir that up and let it chill overnight. So the beans are in the fridge. It's now time to let them sit overnight, and tomorrow we'll eat this while we watch a little NFL football. Just watching a little NFL football, and you know what? I think it's time for that snack, our cowboy beans that we made last night. They've been sitting in the fridge. Now it's time to plate them up and eat them, see how everything turned out. And there you have it. The cowboy beans with meat. A perfect way to watch a little football. Try this. Absolutely delicious. I'm going to put a link to this, as usual, in the description below so you can make it at home. If you do, let me know how it turns out. I'd love to hear. In the meantime, Hey, if you're getting out there and RVing, make sure you follow along. You can check out my channel. You can follow me on social media everywhere at RVJedeye. And then, of course, you can follow my blog at RVJedeye.com. Hey, get out there and RV. Do what you need to do to just have some fun. And if you're not RVing, hey, log on, subscribe, follow along, be a part of the journey anyway. Hey, do yourself a favor, go out there, have a great day.